at CNN News 18. But moving on here on The Nation at 5 to another big story. Big twist in this entire Charlie Peng China Hawala racket. CNN News 18 has exclusively accessed the names of the monks who've been bribed by China to spy on India. Now, these monks were provided Chinese funds by Hawala kingpin Charlie Peng. The monks and lamas living in Delhi's Majnu Ka Tila area received lakhs of rupees from Charlie Peng. Investigative agencies have found that the source of this funding was detected back to China. That's it. And we've also got the names of these lamas and the names of these monks who have got monies anywhere between 10 to 30 lakhs, and overall close to 1 crore has been paid to them for information that would help sabotage or gather information on His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Now let's try and understand what the probe has revealed so far. Ashish Merishi, who'd been tracking this story for us very closely, had said that there were Chinese payments that had gone into lamas, into Tibetan monks. But what it also shows, this is a fresh revelation that this throws, that they are all based in India, based in Delhi, in Majnu Ka Tila, and they've been paid monies at a regular basis for information. And this is not small amounts of money, but lakhs have been paid to monks for info on His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Also, funds were used to bribe monks sourced from China. The money came in from China. The Intelligence Bureau now investigating the money that has been paid to the lamas, for what reason and where did that money end up. And of course, we've accessed the names of the monks who are under scanner, and it will play out on your screens as we speak to Ashish Merishi in just a bit. Now, the Hawala kingpin Charlie Peng paid lamas over 1 crore. So he was not just routing money, but there was also a dangerous spy game that was on, and some lamas received over 30 lakh to betray the Dalai Lama. Ashish Merishi is joining us live. We'll put out the names of these lamas. The aspect is that Charlie Peng was also active in the northeast. He was active in Arunachal, which is also a seat for Buddhism. And there are a lot of Buddhist monasteries there. Ashish. Now Charlie Peng is now seen in touch with lamas who had access to Dharamsala, who were living in Majnu Ka Tila among the Tibetan folk here.
Well, in fact, Anand, it looks to be the sinister design of the dragon, where they want to enter into India. It's not through, not only through the border, but then they were running a spy racket in India, and that is what was visible from the investigation that has come out in the case of Charlie Peng. If you remember, he was basically raided by various agencies for 2 reasons. One, he was spying, and secondly, he was infusing Hawala money. Now, what investigations have pointed out till now is that money source for almost everything that was China. WeChat gateway was used, if you remember.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about the lamas, we have details about lamas and monks, at least 10 names we have, and money was anything between 7 lakhs and 32 lakhs that was paid. The design was basically they get into the inner circle of Dalai Lama, get information about his health, about his travel plans, about people, dignitaries meeting him, getting into the inner circle, what they think about China and what they think about India. And finally, the most important aspect was that whenever there was a replacement, these monks would have played a very, very important role because their vote counts. And that is why these monks were basically bribed over a period of time. So interesting details, Anand, as of now we have in our hand, and we will shortly come up with more details in the story.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your inputs, Ashish. We also have Lagyari Namgyal Dolkar. She's an MP in the Tibetan Parliament in exile. Ms. Namgyal, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to speak to you. But this is a cause for concern that there are Tibetan monks who are close or who have access to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who are based in Delhi and also keep traveling to Dharamsala and also other parts of Ladakh. And they are being paid by China to sabotage His Holiness and the entire movement.
It is a matter of heavy concern. However, we have to know that this is not the first time that such issue has come up. We have to know that China has been attempting to do that for a very long time. I want to begin by thanking the government of India and the state government of Himachal Pradesh for providing all the protection and security for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, because this is very critical. It's very important for us, and Dharamsala is where our exiled government is based as well. So it's disappointing to hear about this. It's very sad that China was able to lure in Tibetans into this matter. And this is something that India, I'm sure, is taking it
No,
very seriously.
but is this going to be raised with His Holiness, and is there going to be an internal understanding? Because I'm sure that there is a certain sect, the Shungden sect, is trying to get activated. The Chinese are also trying to place their own, Lama in place, and also their own head of the entire Tibetan movement. They've also disowned or tried to abduct the Karmapa identified in the past by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So there is a lot in terms of the succession and what they want to control.
Well, these are the games that they've been playing. Everything that they can do to sabotage His Holiness the Dalai Lama, our exile movement that is so strong, that is able to impact the Tibetans inside Tibet, their emotion. That is the reason why they are doing everything in their power to make sure that the movement here in exile weakens, and that we, our voices are not able to reach out. That is the reason why they are causing such a threat to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the exile government.
But what is the next step that's going to be taken? The government is going to crack down on this. This is a big Hawala network. But Charlie Peng was also traveling to China, to Arunachal Pradesh. He was also there in Nepal, and then he made his way to Ladakh. Then he came down to India, to Delhi. When I say from Ladakh, he came down to Delhi, and then he's engaged with these people at the Majnu Katila, Ms. Namgyal. So you see this entire pattern. There are a lot of Chinese who are also trying to come into Nepal, and from Nepal, spend some time there, sneak into India, then come into Ladakh. There is this strong movement there where China believes that if they are able to wrest control from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they'll be able to control all of Tibet.
Yes, I completely accept whatever you have said. We have to understand that these are the extensions of the work of United Front Work Department of China. These kind of work that they are doing since Mao Zedong, he's called these, especially this United Front work, he's called those magic weapons. Xi Jinping is using these sort of department just for that purpose, to extend that sort of influence outside Tibet, within its territory, and in India as well. By doing that, what they're doing is they're trying to reach out to strong people. They're trying to sponsor and mentor these sort of influential people. And
Right.
when I say that, I want to convey that it's not just within the Tibetan community. What is happening is they're using even Indians as well. That's a reality. Because they have not just done that in India, but across the world, even in strong nations. They've tried to sponsor and mentor politicians and businessmen and elites across the globe to push in CCP propaganda and robustly deflect and counter any sort of anti-China rhetoric that comes about. And they know that these sort of movement, these sort of strong anti-China rhetoric are very obvious from the Tibetan community. And even though His Holiness the Dalai Lama has never openly said anything horrible about China, however, he has spoken many a times about the reality that exists within Tibet. They still consider him a threat.
True.
A religious leader.
This is even after, his own birthplace is the Amdo region, and which the Chinese have already annexed. They only recognize Utsang region, which is as central Tibetan region, but Kham and Amdo they've already annexed. So, so there is a lot there. But like you said, that they're trying to do this across nations. In Australia, there has been a huge story that's come to the fore where they've tried to invade and interfere into the political machinations in New South Wales, and in Sydney it's been a huge story. Now we're getting more as far as the US Department, the Justice Department cracking down. I'm going to move on to that news. Ms. Dolkar, thank you very, very much. Big news coming through at this point, where the US Justice Department has actually